let's get some analysis on the situation. Alex Vines is the director of the Africa program over at Chatham House, and he joins me now from London. Alex, good to have you on the show. In Schwab's news story, he briefly mentioned it, I think. Is it fair to say that, the main reason of this violence, and pardon the pun, it's all fueled because of the country's sort of, especially that part of the country, being very energy rich?
Well, I don't think the insurgency itself, the roots in it are nothing to do with gas at all. The first attacks were in 2017, but the brewing of this crisis was a decade earlier. So it is about poverty, it is about inequality, it's about corruption. And gas kind of exaggerates those perceptions, but the roots go way beyond gas and predate gas.
What do you think it says about the situation, the violence there, when you have a government actually not being able to take full control of it and has to actually go out and hire mercenaries to take control of the situation?
Well, the one mercenary group, the Dyke Advisory Group, its contract expired yesterday. It's not involved any longer. And the Mozambican government has always looked at that it didn't want foreign militaries to be involved, but it would take on privateers, private security, private military company people, which is what it's done for about a year. It's now waking up to the fact that that's not fulfilling what it needs. And so it has reached out and is allowing some foreign governments to provide training packages. So that's developing at the moment. There is a US team in training Mozambican Marines. Some 60 Portuguese trainers are coming into Mozambique very shortly to train the Mozambican military. And there are a variety of other governments, the UK government, for example, that has had an offer accepted. So we'll see more of that. Mm-hmm. The big issue is whether there will be regional support for the Mozambican government. And there is an extraordinary emergency summit of the SADC Troika. SADC is the regional grouping that starts tomorrow in Maputo and lasts for 2 days.
I'll get to sort of regional stability in just a second, but you had mentioned that this problem goes way back in terms of predating, the emergence of oil and gas there. But what we've seen in terms of the attacks, a dramatic increase in over the past year. I mean, does this speak to the level of recruitment by these militant groups?
Well, actually, my reading is that the insurgency is hurting. The militants are finding it kind of difficult. And the prime reason for the attack on the 24th of March of the town of Palma was to loot, was to get supplies, was to get money, and was to abduct some people. Because you've got to ask the question, why is it that there are almost 700,000 people now that are internally displaced in Cabo Delgado? The point is that they're running away from this insurgency. Your footage with the interviews to human rights analysts is correct, that it's a brutal insurgency and people are moving away. That makes it more and more difficult for the insurgents. There aren't many booty-rich loot locations left. Palma was one of them.
Yeah. Nearly 750,000 IDPs, you say. Does this sort of pose a threat in terms of a spillover effect in the region?
Well, yes. I mean, there's already an issue that Tanzania has been turning black Mozambican refugees that fled from Palma. The UN has criticized Tanzania, which is the neighbor to the north, about this. And it is a significant humanitarian crisis. There was already a problem of getting food and clean water, in particular, to vulnerable and displaced peoples. There's been some serious cholera outbreaks. So this is a big humanitarian issue, which is likely to get bigger with places like Palma having come under attack from the insurgents.
Alex Vines, a pleasure to have you on. I do appreciate your analysis. Thank you.